Hi, today I'm joined with Chris Walker, the founder of Legit. If anyone wants to search him, it's Chris M. Walker. And today I want to talk about how to strengthen your knowledge graph score using Legit services. So obviously, when you get a knowledge panel, you get assigned a knowledge graph score, which comes down to being the confidence score. And today I'm joined with Chris Walker. I want Chris to kind of explain a few different services that you can get to improve that knowledge graph score.
Hey, thanks for having me. So I think there's a lot of important ones. Again, first of all, you have to do, and you can get people to do this for you too, but you have to do the basic stuff, the social profiles, all that, fill those out. But then what you want to really do is focus on as many wiki sites as possible. And when I say that, I don't mean like when you go to that shitty marketplace where you can buy stuff for $5 and get 10,000 wiki. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the really high authority ones, not that Google really looks at. Wiki Data, Wiki Alpha, Wiki Local, Wiki. There's probably 10, 15 of them. Get all of those. They're not that expensive. It sounds self-serving, but I'm going to say don't try to do it yourself. If you do, they end up getting shut down really, really fast. Another one is Wikipedia Simple, which is almost like a Wikipedia page. It's just like a little bit, I don't really know what's different. It's just like there's not as much on it. That's like a kind of a workaround to get a Wikipedia page. If you can get a Wikipedia page, by all means, that's very, very difficult though. There's that. Press releases work really, really well. There's 3 on Legit that I recommend for that. There's 38 Digital Market, there's Spine PR, and there's SEO Booster. They all do really, really well. I think you probably know Randy from 38 Digital Market. Yeah. Those work really well. They stick for years. And then just as many Web 2.0s and social media not social media, but I don't know what you would even classify them as, but like Blogspot and WordPress and all those types of things with your whatever it is in it. So jamesdooley.wordpress.com. I get as many of those as possible. Really, it's just you're trying to flood the internet with as many things around your exact brand name as you possibly can. To give an example of this, and you don't know this, but this is kind of funny. I bought bestseospeaker.com thinking that would be an easy term to rank for. And then when I go and I look for that, James Dooley has absolutely destroyed that term.
Oh, really?
Yes, you have.
I didn't even know.
You didn't even know. You have everything on that, 10 pages. It's almost entirely you. And that's exactly what you're trying to do with manipulating a knowledge graph. I don't think that's what you were trying to do in that case. But that's the same steps I would take, is to get as many guest posts. And when I say guest post, I don't necessarily mean the kind that we buy for SEO value. I mean somebody whose agency site will actually write a post about you, kind of guest post.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. As many of those as you can get. And there's lots of different services for that. But it's almost like spamming, but in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying there with regards to, I think on some of your Legit services with regards to the Web 2.0s that you mentioned, like jamesdooley.blogspot.com, some people call it like a social fortress around your site. So it's just trying to get every single profile. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't have every single Chris M. Walker at Chris M. Walker dot and stuff like that. You should, for me, when we're saying spamming it, it's just about repeating that message on as many third-party sources as possible. Which, a lot of people would say, well, that's just spamming the internet. It's not. It's just repeating the message of who you are and what you do. And then that there with Best SEO Speaker, which you mentioned, Best SEO Speaker is a direct connection with Chris Walker. Why? Well, you're an SEO and you go to events and you speak. So if you having that connection there is almost like an award of what you've done and stuff like that. Then there's lots of other things that you can connect your brand to, and you're then connected heavily to Legit because you're the founder of Legit. And the more connections that you can have within the knowledge graph, that's obviously strengthening the scores as much as possible. You mentioned press releases as well, and that's another way of just getting into Google News and getting so much noise out there again for awards that you might have won. It could be for me, I think you've mentioned this in one of the other videos, the link will be in the description, where you were saying you should do a press release every 90 days. And even if it's just employing a new member of staff, a new product that you've launched, a new service that you've launched, a new office that you've opened up, whatever it is, just keep that noise. Yeah, go on, sorry.
So you can get creative and always find an angle.
Yeah, exactly that. So obviously there's lots of different. I'm a big lover at the moment with regards to legit. This is why I've wanted to get you on, mainly because a lot of my clients come to me saying, I want some niche edits, I want a press release, I want something being designed, or I want one of these pages, and I'm just like, it's not something that we do. We don't provide SEO services. You need to go and find a freelancer that can do it. And like, well, where can we find this? And I'm like, I went out, and I'll be honest with you, I went out and I was testing like 5 SEO clerks, and then obviously came through to you. And then what I loved about it was I was getting on there, and there were so many services that was on there. I could check the reviews, do 1 or 2 things. And there's actually quite a lot of people that I know that, like you said, Randy there, that he's got a great press release service. There's so many people like Sakit.ye and stuff like that. If I needed some tier 2 backlinks and stuff, there was just so many people on legit that made me just go, it's easy for me to refer people in and say, you choose, this is what you need. You need as much corroboration, as much mentions on the internet as possible. You go out and get as many different, whether that's social, whether it's web 2s, whether it's a press release, whether it's guest posts as well. So again, with regards to, you were saying being creative on a press release, you can also be creative on the guest posts.
Oh, totally.
You can begin on specific individual websites that don't have lots of outbound links, that there's certain guest post providers on legit as well, which is great. But what's the importance? Like, why do you think it's important, and why do you think I've got you on to improve the knowledge graph score? Why is it important for a brand, whether it's a personal brand like a person like James Dooley, or a business, to have this knowledge panel and have this knowledge panel looking good online?
It's like a clout score type of thing, or social credit, or whatever you want to label it as. Just speaking as a consumer, I know that when I go Google something that I'm looking at investing in or buying, if they have that, I take them more seriously. And maybe we shouldn't, because people like us know how to make that shit happen. Anyway, but I think that's the biggest important part of it, is that it makes your search traffic more effective. So even if I'm going to use a lawyer as an example. A lawyer probably thinks, I want to rank for best personal injury attorney in Dallas or whatever. That's helpful, but what they're also going to go look for is James Dooley Law or whatever it is. I'm making this up, but I think that's as important, if not more important than that. Like, I think that it's a big conversion thing. And, just looking at it from the SEO agency perspective, like, if you have like lawyers as clients, for example, they have great big egos, and they love to see a thing of themselves there too. So that's another reason to do it, is that it's easy to sell. But I think it's more of a conversion thing than anything else. It's just, and also it's like that many more spots that somebody else can't have. Like, I know that sounds kind of cold blooded, but like, this is business. This isn't like flip a playground. Like, every sale that I get is one that somebody else didn't get. And maybe that sounds cutthroat, but I'm in this to make money and to do what I think. And so the more space I take up, the more attention I get, the better to do that. And like, knowledge panels, more than anything, like, at least in terms of search, are the way to really impress that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a big one for me was, there was something called ZMOT, which stands for Zero Moment of Truth. And I never really understood what that was. And Google came out with a study on it. And it's just, the study's called Zero Moment of Truth. And what they were saying was, it's at the 11th hour when you are up against another company. So let's say it's a law firm, prime example, and they're deciding which law firm am I going to go with, which one's going to pay me the biggest claim for me to earn the most money. Hey, do you like that? Which one's going to get me the most money? They might be searching for both. They've got one tab open with James Dooley Law, and they've got another tab open for Chris Walker Law. And then what's happening is they're checking to see who they're going to go with. And it's the zero moment of truth. At that moment, they're going to decide which one they're going to go with, company A or company B. And if you don't look good and you've not controlled who you are and what you do, and you're not really happy that it's got a positive sentiment, then that could be the difference between you winning or losing specific jobs. Yeah. And obviously now with AI as well, repeating who you are and what you do, and having that message and having the awards that you've won, and maybe like if we're speaking about lawyers, the recent claims and how much they managed to get payouts. So if they've just gone and got a £15 million payout for a brain injury claim, well, they want to promote that, because then if someone else is potentially having a brain injury claim and they're saying, which lawyer can give me the highest claim payout, and this is popping up saying there's a £15 million payout, that could be the difference between them going with the company and not going with the company. So it's more than just strengthening your knowledge graph score, which is kind of what the video is about. It's long term, it is about branding. It's about the difference between you winning and losing certain jobs, the difference between you getting that sale and not getting that sale. But also it is building trust within Google and also the LLMs to showcase why you are the best.
Yeah, I think a good way to put that is it can be the ultimate tiebreaker. Right? Like you and I might have the exact same law firm, the exact same credentials, the exact same history, the exact same pricing. We're both lovely people to talk to, so that might not be the deal breaker. The fact that you have more social proof than I do, and a knowledge panel being the best social proof for at least for search, can be the difference between winning and losing, and that could be a $1 million case. So the couple $1,000 that it's going to take to put this together is worth every penny of it. And it's also just cool to show off to people. Like, don't underestimate that. Like, you can say, if you're interested, just go search me.
Yeah. And it looks good. It looks cool. Like you said, it's showing exactly who you are. It's got all the links to all the different profiles. If they want to dig deeper, they know exactly what profile is yours. It's kind of, because of the schema, you've wrapped it all together, which is another part which actually strengthens your score, is making certain that you're removing any entity disambiguation. Yeah. So what I mean by that is, yes, if someone went and didn't put Chris M. Walker and they just put Chris Walker, but they meant you, that making certain that if you wrap that in the schema to say, this article is about Chris M. Walker, about me, you're getting the credit for it. If you didn't do that, there's times where if there's that ambiguity, they might say, well, we can't accredit that to your knowledge panel because we don't know that is 100% that Chris Walker that they're talking about. Yeah,
especially with somebody with a name like mine that's very like vanilla and very common. It's very important to do that. Like that's why I use the M, is so I can like stand out, because there were Chris Walkers that were famous enough that no matter what I did, I was never going to get that knowledge panel. So think about, if you have that kind of name, that's something to think about too. Yours is fairly common as well, so there's probably other James Dooleys out there as well. So,
see, I went down the road of doing James Z. Dooley, but there was too much noise online about me already for James Dooley. So I ended up reverting back to James Dooley, and it's made it 10 times harder because there's a musician, I think there's something like 17 James Dooleys that have all got knowledge panels. So now what I've got to do, because I love competition, is I've got to be number one. So now I'm doing everything I can to beat them out. But this is why strengthening the knowledge graph score for me has become very important, because there's no point in me having a knowledge panel for James Dooley if when someone searches James Dooley, it's not my knowledge panel, it's somebody else's that shows up. Yeah. So for me, now I'm like, how do I strengthen it? What else do I need to do? What else do I need to do? And like one of the end goals is to get like a Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. But realistically, you can't get a Wikipedia page until you've got everything else properly lined up. And that can take years. Yeah. It can, because if you go too hard too soon, you can end up not getting it and end up getting it deleted and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've known some relatively famous people that couldn't get Wikipedia pages, like Bob Proctor. I knew somebody that did his SEO. They couldn't get a Wikipedia page for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's difficult. It's very hard.
It's actually pretty impressive how well they've controlled that for as long as they have.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Anyone who's watching this, did you even know that there was a knowledge graph score? Did you even know with regards to how to check it with regards to your knowledge graph machine ID? So if you don't know, check the link in the description. We'll show you exactly how to do it. There's a lot of different services that I'm going to post in the descriptions with regards to using Legit. I prefer just going through to there. There's so many different services that you can be using on there. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. It's been brilliant of how you've built out Legit. I'm a big advocate of it. I think it's amazing. I think anyone that wants to scale out and doesn't want an in-house team, you can be going there using a lot of freelancers and outsource the different services. You still might need, I don't know, Chris, if anyone comes to you and they're not certain what what they need to buy, do you ever like refer them into an SEO consultant, or do you kind of consult them to say, look, it's 20 services that I would get, or like what's the best way on that?
Yeah, so I think what you're asking is if they're not sure, who can they?
Yeah.
You can come to me personally. I will give them, and if I don't know, I will say I don't know. I'm not going to sell you something that you don't need. I don't need the money that bad. You can also just message our support. We have 24/7 human being support, which I'm very proud of that. That's why I emphasize that, because that's very, very rare in this industry, and they know what to do too. Now, they're not professional SEOs, but they know. I've transferred my knowledge to them to a pretty good extent. And if they run into one they don't know, they'll come get me or one of the other people that do. But you can always do that. Like, that's one of the ways we've distinguished ourselves from the publicly traded companies that we compete with, is that we have knowledgeable people and human people that will actually will actually be able to help you. So there's always someone there. We also have an AI built in if you prefer not to talk to humans. But I think asking me or asking one of our support team is the way to go.
Awesome. Well, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure. If anyone wants to kind of get hold of you, what's the best way of getting hold of you? Is it through Legit or through your private website?
Facebook is really good. I'm very responsive on Facebook. You can search Chris M. Walker on Facebook, and you'll find me. But you can also go through Legit. I get high on my own supply. I'm a freelancer on there, just like anybody else. So you can message me that way, or you can message through support, and they'll get you through to me. It might take a little while, but eventually I will get to that too. So, or you can just find my knowledge panel and find me that way.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure anyway, Chris. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Cheers.